The International Business Times is reporting that John Kasich is proposing a government agency that promotes, quote, Judeo-Christian values around the world. He was giving a speech on Tuesday to the National Press Club in Washington, and he said this, quote, we must be more forceful in the battle of ideas. U.S. public diplomacy and international broadcasting have lost their focus on the case for Western values and ideals and effectively countering our opponents' propaganda and disinformation. I will consolidate them into a new agency that has a clear mandate to promote the core Judeo-Christian Western values that we and our friends and our allies share. The values of human rights, the values of democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of association. We need to beam messages around the world about what it means to have a Western ethic, to be part of a Judeo-Christian society. It means freedom. It means opportunity. It means respect for women. It means freedom to gather. It means so many things. The West must embrace again our Jewish Christian tradition rather than running from it and hiding from it. Now, that's one of those statements where he's so close to right, but he's still so wrong. So if I were to read you this statement and we were to take out Judeo-Christian values, I'd completely agree with it. If he's saying, hey, we need to win in the battle of ideas, as he says to his credit, and he lays out specifically, okay, I'm talking about women's rights, I'm talking about equality, I'm talking about freedom of speech, I'm talking about all these different things. If he kept all that the same but just took out Judeo-Christian values, I'd give him a fucking round of applause standing up. But he didn't. He threw in Judeo-Christian values, and that, Mr. Kasich, is totally wrong. Because what you're saying, those aren't even Judeo-Christian values. Judeo-Christian values would be exactly what you just described. It would be a fucking theocracy with a bunch of backward-ass stupid ideas. What you're describing, if you believe the things you said, those would be Enlightenment values. Those would be secular liberal values. Equality for women, equality for gays, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association. Those are secular liberal values. Those aren't fucking Judeo-Christian values. You want to talk about Jewish values? Go talk to the settlers who are currently stealing Palestine, and they're so extreme that even Netanyahu's Likud government says, yeah, they're terrorists. Okay, go talk to them. There's your Jewish values in terms of the actual sense of the word. Hey, we believe in Judaism, and we believe in it so much that this land is ours, and we have a divine mandate to it, and kill the Palestinians. Christian values. You want to talk about Christian values? All right, well, there are parts of the Bible that say, fuck gay people. That say, maybe gays should be put to death. There's slavery in the Bible. We've spoken about that before. Now, there are good things in the Bible, too, when you look at, economics, and actually, they're even too extreme in being anti-rich. And immigration, it's a very kind message through the Bible. But most of it's contradictory, and there's a lot of stuff that's horrible. Real Christian values, what? Read the Bible. Earth being flat. Yippee, there's your Christian values. 7-headed dragons. Don't wear a mix of 2 different fabrics. We can go down the list. It's just a bunch of stupid nonsense drivel. Okay, that's your real Judeo-Christian values. If you now feel like you're comfortable in meshing the two together, Judeo-Christian values and the secular liberal values actually laid out, well, that's only because the secular liberal values were so superior that they beat the fucking Judeo-Christian values over the head with a stick into submission, and now, since you can't beat them, join them. Because those things you laid out there are not Judeo-Christian values. Again, Judeo-Christian values, look at, the Crusades are closer to Christian values than secular liberalism is. Okay, but that's the point, is you're mixing them together. And you are taking credit, or you're giving these religions credit for the hard work they didn't do. They cock-blocked the work. Science did the work. Philosophers did the work. The Enlightenment did the work. Rational people did the work, who push back against your theocratic horseshit. And the most important point is, the way he describes it, you are setting up a clash of civilizations. You are setting up an us versus them mentality, where you're saying to the Muslims, hey, turn to Christianity or Judaism, or you're wrong. These values, Judaism and Christianity, they represent all these other things, the secular liberal things, which are actually good things, even though they don't. They represent this, and if you're either with us in the Judeo-Christian model, or you're against us, and you're a Muslim and you're the other. That's tribalism 101, and that's setting up this false dichotomy. You don't want to do that. The reality is Judeo-Christian values and Muslim fundamentalist values are much closer linked than secular liberal values and Enlightenment values. Those are on opposite ends of the spectrum. And everybody should come to the side of secular liberalism.